All you need is love, wah, 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 wah. All you need is love, wah, 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 wah. All you need is love, love. Love is all you really need. I know you're thinking, his voice has not gotten better. But I know what you're really thinking is the Beatles, right? June 25th, 1967, the first ever worldwide satellite television hookup, watched by an estimated 400 million viewers. But as original as the Beatles were in the history of rock and roll, isn't that really St. Paul's message today? He says, without love, nothing matters. We are clanging gongs. We are echoing cymbals. All of our sacrifices, all of our good deeds amount to nothing if they are not done with love. Love never fails. Faith, hope, and love remain. But the greatest of these is love. All you need is love. Wah, 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 wah. And yet, what form this love takes looks very, very different depending upon when in our lives we are exercising it. Take Jesus in this gospel today, for instance. He just comes off his retreat time in the desert. He announces to the synagogue, the neighborhood synagogue, his mission to heal and to liberate. His love is on fire. He's on a mission, and the mission is larger than just that small group of listeners in his hometown. But then, suddenly, I think strangely at first, it gets difficult. It seems not everyone likes Jesus' mission. They want it to be different. They want it to focus more on them. We want it to be a mission that comforts us and who we are, as opposed to calling us to grow outside ourselves. Sure enough, pretty soon, they are looking to throw him off the cliff. Love never fails. Love is all you need. Really, it seems that love failed here for him. Jesus needed love in that moment, and he needed a clever means of escape. My friends, haven't we all been there? We start something filled with promise and the energy of our passion and our love, and it gets bogged down in the weeds. Things don't go as efficiently or as easily as we had hoped. In my priesthood, for sure that has been true. I started out in the priesthood 45 years ago like a can of soda someone had shaken up and sprayed all over O'Fallon, Missouri. I couldn't wait to get in any place or meet and talk and everywhere spread the good news. But then people started disagreeing with how I spread it. Someone would rather I have said this or done that differently. And who knew how many times a priest of God had to get out of his comfortable chair at the end of the day and unlock the gym for some sports event or some other event of all different sizes and colors. Love never fails. I suppose that's true, but the love I had sure seemed to fall short a lot. I see marriages, I see friendships take much the same path. It starts out where love looks so easy. We know that other couples have struggled, but we have enough love to make it. We're just going to keep loving each other and everything's going to work out. But then he or she miraculously develops these annoying habits. These annoying habits that you never noticed before, at least it didn't bother you nearly as much as before. Someone puts on some weight. Someone works too much. The kids take too much time and energy away from us. All of a sudden, you can't remember when was the last time you had a real tender, a real affectionate moment together. And the easy intimacy of your beginning feels a lifetime away. Love never fails. All you need is love. Really. Love may be all you really need, but it sure can come up short of the love we had hoped for. We get a sense of that same pattern in the first reading from Jeremiah today. It begins with Jeremiah's sense, this deep sense of God's intimacy with him, God forming him, God calling him and dedicating him for God's purposes, this deep sense of all of those wonderful things. And then it ends with God saying, don't worry, the people you love and serve, they're not going to crush you. I will protect you. Where did that come from? What had happened to the warmth and intimacy, and now God's saying, I'm not going to let them crush you? Whatever Jeremiah's love felt like, it certainly went from dedicating his life to the people he loved and just trying not to let them crush him. So sometimes love is on fire, and we feel so called and confident and convicted. Other times it seems love has to grieve. Love has to grieve the loss of those early certainties. Jesus and Jeremiah had to grieve the rejection they experienced. Love might be all they need, but that love might look a whole lot less like prophetic confidence and a lot more like being willing to stick with the sadness a little longer than we would want to. Love may never fail, but people do. I do. All the time. And so love's shape might be more of a gritting my teeth some days and deciding to keep going forward despite the sense of fear and the sense of rejection I experience even from families and even from friends. Love is all we need, fair enough. But the same love can feel a lot more like not giving up and into my disillusionments or choosing to love despite my hurts. After all, I suppose, Paul wouldn't have to remind us that love is enough if that love always came easily, or if love were even always easy to feel. I think sometimes in the beauty of Paul's love poetry, and Tom, you read it with that kind of love today, and I can't thank you enough for that. In the beauty of Paul's love poetry, we miss the many ways he describes it. Paul wouldn't have to tell us that love is patient and kind if patience and kindness were always easy. Paul wouldn't have to be telling me that love isn't jealous or rude or quick-tempered if my own love weren't tempted to fall short, and thus my jealousy, my rudeness, and my quick temper showing itself so really. Love may never fail, for sure, but love does so often not give us the payback that we want. And so the challenge is really to believe, my friends. The challenge is to believe that love is all we need, that love does last, and that love is, in fact, enough. Not someone else's love for me, not someone else's love for us, but our love for them, our love for others. That's the evidence of Jesus and Jeremiah today. Not that the love they received was constant or enough. They didn't receive a constant or enough love. Hey, they were going to throw him off a cliff. They were going to try to crush him. But rather, what is enough is that you and I can love them. You and I can continue to love in response to however we are treated. That's what never fails. Our freedom to love others as a response to however they have treated me, however they have treated us. In the end, that's the promise and the challenge of this gospel today. Not all I need is for you to love me, but that all I need is for me to love you. No matter how you've treated me to begin with. All you need is love. Wah, 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 wah. Gives a song a whole new meaning, doesn't it? I'm the singer. All you need is love. Wah, 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 wah. All we really need is the freedom to respond in love, no matter how we are ever treated. All we need is love, love. Love is all we need.